Hey, what's going on, my lovelies? It's Kyle here. I want to talk about inner growth today and how to increase inner growth. So, I know I said that in order to maximize inner growth, you must minimize external obligations. Now, I'm not pushing that you need to maximize, you need to make this like the perfect recipe and plan and shift your life so you can maximize your inner growth. But just to dive into this sort of principle, you only have so much energy. You can only devote so much energy to particular things in your life. And in order for something or an aspect of yourself to grow, you need to put a certain amount of quality, consistent energy into this pursuit over a long period of time. So once again, I'm not telling you to maximize this. It's up to you how much you want to increase your inner growth. And for many of you, you might not have too many external obligations to the point where it holds you back on your inner growth process and the things you want to grow. You might not have too much on your plate. You might just need to integrate on a consistent basis certain exercises, intention to improve growth in a particular area. It might be an aspect of your personality you're trying to improve. It might be, a certain pattern or thought pattern that you seem to click into during a situation. It might be learning and trying to improve emotional regulation. So you might be a hothead. And in order to reduce how much you might go off, how much you might lose your cool, you're going to have to, in many, many situations, so many of you out there are going to have to divert energy that you put into your external obligations, such as work, such as your relationships, certain friendships, certain familial relationships, romantic relationships, certain activities that you partake in. You might love playing video games. You might love going for hikes with your friends. You might like playing, some extracurricular sports. And obviously so much of these aspects of your external obligations are necessary to keep you in balance. So I'm not telling you, yeah, don't quit your job. We need to make money to survive and to afford a healthy lifestyle. So that's important. But you might see yourself like on this side hustle culture where you're working not just your 40 hours, but you're working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, doing Uber on the side, doing some sort of side hustle on the side. And that's fine if that's what you want to do, or you might be in a couple different extracurricular leagues. You might be in a soccer league and a hockey league. You're allowed to do these things. It's your life, it's your choice. But if you find an aspect that requires inner growth or inner healing, bringing health to your inner life that is affecting your external life and when you interact with your relationships or your job or whatever it may be, you're going to have to cut some things out. And the more time and effort and energy that you want to put into your inner growth, you're likely going to have to cut more and more things out. You're going to have to divert that energy back to your inner growth. You need to minimize your external obligations in order to maximize your inner growth, your inner healing process, whatever it may be. And this is very, very, very important. I know a lot of you probably already know this. But it's a good reminder. I still have to do this. I do this all the time. Because it's so easy at this point in time of history where we literally can be we can be distracted 24/7. We can be engaged with something or someone 24/7. With the advent of technology at this modern age, it's so easy to get sucked into so many things, so many obligations that we don't necessarily deeply want to be doing. We deeply might want to work on these things that it's not sexy. It's not necessarily fun all the time to do inner work. It's not. But when you do this inner work, when you bring more health to your inner life, which then reflects on how you express yourself in the external world, you will find that you will have better well-being, more fun doing just basic things, be more at peace, be more balanced, be more healthy overall. So, these are trade-offs here. And I think it's an important thing to realize that it's so easy for us to get to put so much on our plate, the softball league that we just entered. Here's another friend. Oh, let's become friends with them. Let's add another relationship to our life. Okay, let's do this. Let's pick up a side hustle. We'll do that, to the point where you don't get any space and time to decompress. You don't get any space and time to work on some inner life stuff, some inner growth. Now, way back in the day, this wasn't the case. In the 1800s, or at some point in human history before there was electricity and modern technology, people had 2 sleeps because the night they had so much time. They would sleep for, maybe 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, wake up in the middle of the night for a couple hours, and then go back to sleep for 4 or 5 more hours. Wouldn't that be nice for some of us? But in this modern age, we really need to focus on just saying no, cutting out excessive obligations that are not good for us, that we don't desire for ourselves, and just keep track of where we really want to put our energy. Keep track of where we will get the best bang for our buck in terms of our well-being, in terms of our happiness, in terms of our health, in terms of our growth or healing process. So for those of you out there who you keep piling things up on your plate, and it doesn't, and if that brings you joy, if that's what you're really into, if that's what you want, that is great. But I see so many people just plugging into this, to FOMO, fear of missing out, wanting to do it all, but we can't do it all. And if there's something deep within you that keeps calling you to do some inner work, where you have this intuition, this feeling that when you do this inner work, it will bring so much more happiness, joy, health, and peace. Or at least, if it doesn't bring a whole bunch, maybe it'll bring a little bit more. If you sense yourself really being drawn to wanting to do some more inner work, inner growth, inner healing, then I encourage you to consciously minimize, to some extent, some of your external obligations while still having somewhat of a healthy balance in your life. Because many of us, A, don't have the disposition, and B, don't even want to do this. You can go full extreme. You go monk mode, off to a retreat in the mountains for weeks, months, or years by yourself, or maybe with other people who are also doing the retreat, who aren't really interacting, who are putting 12, 14, 16, 18 hours a day into this inner growth journey, deep in meditation, deep in reflection. We don't have to go that far. It's not necessary. But it's a good example to remind ourselves that in order to cultivate and grow in a certain area or aspect of our life, we need to make space for it. We need to make time for it. And we need to save some of our quality, energy, and ability to put effortful energy into this. We need to save that for what we want to grow. Because for anything to grow, it needs more energy than it would be to just maintain where you're at right now. You need to put definitely, maybe not excessive amount of energy, but a lot more than you normally would. So I'll leave it there. Hope you're having a lovely day wherever you're at in the world. Until next time.